Well, hi, I'm Jeff Strong. I'm creator of Rhythmic Entrainment Intervention and co-founder and creative director of BrainShiftRadio.com. Today I want to talk about calm and anxiety. I've done quite a few videos actually about calm, and I've played different rhythms that you can use, and I've showed you some techniques you can use to help calm with drumming. I talk about playing at the low end of the alpha state of consciousness and playing rhythms that kind of evolve. They're kind of somewhat predictable, but they're variable. Kind of soothing in the sense that you kind of have a sense of where they're going, but they constantly change. And that's great for general calm. For the average person who wants to listen to this and just feel a sense of relaxation and calm, get their brain into this low end of the alpha state of consciousness. But I discovered early on when I was doing my earliest research, as a matter of fact, my first study was done in a school in 1994 with children with autism. And we were looking at calm. We were looking at, could we calm people with the recordings, and whether they had an anxiety attack or they were just anxious to begin with. And we saw that we could, in fact, create calm. And it was almost immediate. And this was the thing that was kind of surprising that I started thinking about. Because when I talk about calm, and I'm going to talk about most of what we're doing here with drumming, with the theta level of consciousness, with meditation, or creativity or intuition, calm and focus, I often talk about entrainment. And entrainment is the idea that we're synchronizing our brains to the underlying pulse of the drumming. That the brain will actually shift to have the brainwave patterns be the same as the drumming rhythm. And I also talk about how it takes 12 to 17 minutes for this to happen the first time. And as you get used to it, it happens quicker and quicker. And the theory holds really well when we're doing general calm or if we're listening to BrainShift Radio or something like that. But I noticed something happening in my earliest research, and not necessarily that study, but right after I did the school study in 1984, I went and did a couple of other studies, both with adults with autism. And one was in a vocational center with adults who would come during the day to develop some skills, and we developed or created a calm room there. We set up a room in the facility where we piped my music through, and put people in there when they were having anxiety or aggression or any kind of discomfort emotionally. And we saw them calming down within a minute or so. Certainly not the 12 to 17 minutes that you would expect if entrainment was happening. And then I did another study where I was at a residential facility with adults with autism, and I noticed touring the facility, a couple of the residents get into an altercation, very aggressive, very anxious, and I sat down with my drum and I played, and within 30 seconds, the aggression stopped, and I played for a while and everybody calmed down really well. And then I started thinking about it. I started thinking, okay, well, this obviously isn't entrainment. If it takes 12 to 17 minutes, you've got somebody who is very anxious or aggressive, and they're stopping in their tracks when I start playing. So what's going on here? Well, part of it is the novelty of what I'm doing. When you bring a drum into an environment like a residential facility with adults with autism, and I start playing, it's something they've never encountered before. So they're going to key into it. And a panic attack and aggression as well with people with autism is really kind of a loop. It's a flight or fight response based upon some response to their stimulus. They're really going into their primitive brain. Their amygdala is getting triggered, and adrenaline is starting to flow through their bodies, and now they're in panic mode. And you got to calm them down. And it's okay to try to soothe them. That takes a while. But when you then shift them out with something that is outside of their normal awareness, you startle them in a sense with something that's novel. Their brain is going to shift. They're going to shift away from what's got them in the loop of the anxiety, the aggression. And that's kind of what I think is happening with these instances. So when I try to reduce a panic attack or aggression or an anxiety attack of any sort, I'm trying to play something that really jars somebody out of that loop. And so what I'll do is play a little bit more chaotic rhythm than I would otherwise play if I was just trying to calm, if I was just trying to entrain to the calm state. What I want to do is really create something so unusual that you really have to key into it. And then all of a sudden your attention goes away from whatever it is that's causing that anxiety, that loop that we're in. So let me play a little bit for you, the kind of rhythm that I played actually in the residential facility when these residents were having their altercation. And you'll notice it's a little bit different. As a matter of fact, let me play first, just kind of a general calming kind of track that I would play, 8 beats per second, having kind of a predictable quality that's kind of evolving, variable rhythm that kind of tells a story basically. I'm going to use a rhythm that I use a lot when I talk about the therapeutic use of drumming. It's a 3-3-2 rhythm. I also call it a mambo. It's 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-1. And I'll use that as the basis to kind of create this calming environment. So that would be what I would do for general calming, and it sounds like this. A nice little groove. I was making kind of musical, putting fills in, changing the rhythm a bit, but you could hear that 3-3-2 happening throughout. I could play that for general calm. You'll sit, you'll find it kind of interesting, and you'll key into it. Your brain will eventually shift. You'll get into this alpha state of consciousness that'll be a very calming place neurologically. If I'm going to try to stop an anxiety attack or aggressive behavior in someone who is based upon fear, which is what, in my experience, most aggressive behavior with people with autism is. It's sensory overwhelm or fear. So I will play a rhythm like this. It's very different. So you'll notice I started off very chaotic, a little bit faster, very intense. And then I slowed it down a little bit. I started creating a pattern that started making sense musically. And then there was some themes that I repeated. That's kind of the idea when I'm dealing with aggression or anxiety or panic attack. And I want to calm that down quicker than the entrainment can happen. I want to shake that system up. I want to make that person become aware of something different going on, pull them out of their loop so that they can then start getting engaged and calm down. So I'll play a little bit of just a regular calm to end this so that we don't end on this kind of more chaotic note. I hope you noticed the difference between those two. I hope that the section I played here dealing with the anxiety didn't actually feel a little bit uncomfortable, because for some people it does, especially if we're starting from a calm place, because it's very intense. But keeping in mind though that when we're dealing with somebody that is having an anxiety attack or aggressive behavior, they're probably running off adrenaline and they're very peaked. So you got to kind of almost meet them there and pull them back. So I will end with the calming playing for a couple minutes here, and I'll see you in the next video.